Hey, what's up guys? So there's a change that's being made that's going to pretty much affect the entire radar detector industry. This is pretty huge. Now I want to go ahead and, well, tell you guys about it. This is what John from Radenso has been alluding to on the forums now for a little while. He's been saying there's this huge change coming. It's not a product announcement. And well, he is revealing some information about it. I'll link to his video in the video description, and I want to share some information as well. So this change actually has to do with Uniden. So where does our story begin? So I've had a chance, I guess, over the years to meet a lot of different people in the radar detector industry. And you know, with a lot of the interviews that I do here on camera, you guys have had a chance to meet a lot of these people as well, from Escort and Radenso and different companies, right? But I know we haven't had a chance to really talk about Uniden. We've never, you know, I've never interviewed anybody on camera from Uniden. So let's talk a little bit about them. If you guys remember when the LRD 950 came out, that detector came out of nowhere. It had surprisingly good performance and filtering and features, and it cost like nothing. It pretty much blew everything away at that price point. And we were testing it, we were like, what the heck is this? This is amazing. This was the first detector, if you guys remember, that had a separate BSM filter that was able to filter out blind spot falses without relying on TSR or TSF that negatively impacted performance. It was the first one that had a BSM filter that didn't affect range, which was really cool. GPS lockouts, surprisingly cheap, all this kind of stuff. It was amazing. Woo! Wow. K-band. So naturally it did really well on the forums. Those of us who were testing it were like, dude, check this out. This is awesome. What is this, you know? So that naturally did really well. And then a little later on down the line, somebody from Uniden reached out to a number of us on the forums, those of us who've been doing testing or reviews, that kind of stuff, and said, hey guys, this has been really helpful for us as a company. We're looking at developing a new product. Would you guys be interested in helping us test something new that we'd like to release? And we were like, sure, why not? You guys have been doing great things so far. We're happy to help you guys as well. Clearly you're onto something here. So we got to testing, and it was what became the R1 and the R3, and we're testing and we're like, this is beating everything else. About a mile away. Oh, okay.
Well, there goes our course.
Okay. It was the first detector that beat the red line in range, which before the R3 was considered the king of long-range detection. It was the benchmark, you know? So what Uniden has been doing up to this point has been pretty huge. Now, this person that I've been talking to online, his name is Cooney. We've just been emailing back and forth. He's kind of been our point of contact with Uniden. Now, as the R3 continued to develop, he was the person who we would go to with maybe suggestions for different features that we would like to see implemented, or when you guys would find different issues or anything that we would want to make as far as changes, we would go to him and he would be the one to implement things and give us feedback and all the discussion. He was our point of contact. I wasn't really sure exactly what his role is with the company. I figured he was like the middleman between the engineers and everybody else at Uniden, and he was just kind of our point of contact or something. Anyway, fast forward to SEMA last year, just a couple months ago. He and I had a chance to meet up for the first time. So cool, I had a chance to meet Cooney, and we just kind of got to talking, you know, and so I asked him like, hey, you know, what do you do at Uniden? What's your role? Turns out he's the only person at Uniden that works on radar detectors. I was like, no. This can't be. You know, I've gotten to know people at Radenso and Escort. They're huge companies with, well, not huge companies, but they've got a bunch of people working for them at different roles, you know. With Uniden, it turns out it's a surprisingly small company. He's the only person in the company, that does radar detectors. It also turns out he's also the only person who handles a couple other different product categories as well for the company. I'm like, well, what about everything else, you know? Well, who builds the radar detectors? Who actually physically creates them? And he said, all that stuff is actually outsourced. He's the only person at Uniden that handles radar detectors. And I was like, this can't be. This is crazy. It blew my mind. I didn't believe him. I'm still like, huh? This is so different than how a lot of the other companies operate, you know? So that was already like, what the heck, you know? So anyway, that aside, okay, we kind of get to talking some more, and he was telling me, you know, we're talking about Uniden, and I'm just learning more about the company because all this seems so weird to me, and you know. Anyways, he was explaining how he's actually not that happy working at Uniden, and he's looking, you know, maybe to switch to a different company. And I was like, Okay, I wasn't sure if he was serious. Is he just complaining? Is he actually going to do it? I have no idea. So we just kind of got to talking, Okay, well, I guess if you're looking at maybe going to a different company, well, there's Escort, there's Radenso, there's a number of different companies, Stinger, different companies out there that you can go work for. And based on what he was saying and what he was looking for, I was like, hey, you should get in touch with John at Radenso. He's the CEO. He's here at the show. Talk to him. They're a cool bunch of guys. They're working on awesome stuff. And based on what you're looking for, I think it would be a great fit for you. It would be a great environment. Okay, cool. That was it. A little more time passes post SEMA, and he messages me back, and he's like, hey, I'm going to go work at Radenso. And I'm like, he was serious about that. Wait. You're going to go work at Radenso. This is the guy who built the LRD 950, the R3, the R7, all of Uniden's detectors, all the updates that were like, this is awesome, you're doing amazing things. He's leaving Uniden, and he's going to Radenso. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, well, now what? This leaves two big kind of question marks. One is for Radenso, obviously, this is amazing. The guy who built the R3 and the R7 is going to Radenso. He's teaming up with them, and they're going to be working together as far as their current products, which are already great, like the Pro-M, which has great MRCD capabilities and BSM filtering. What about any future detectors that they want to work on? They've got the great team at Radenso. They've got the guy from Uniden who built the R3. He's now at Radenso. I'm like, ooh, well, if this is happening, and it is, by the way. This is why we're doing the video and actually releasing the information. Okay, well, this is happening. Radenso is going to be a freaking powerhouse. Like, oh my gosh, they're going to be this company they've already been doing really well, as time has been progressing. But, ooh, this is going to be huge for Radenso. They're, in my opinion, they're going to, whatever they come out with after this, I think it's going to just blow away everything else out on the market, And that's a whole nother topic of discussion we can get into. But yeah, whatever I guess Radenso kind of does from here on out is going to be even better than already at this point. Now, the other question I've got is like, okay, well, what does that mean for Uniden? He was the only guy at Uniden working on radar detectors. Okay, well, he's gone. Clearly, Uniden's going to have to replace him. And this just happened recently, and it's just before the R7 launch. So now they're like, okay, well, we're going to have to find somebody else and hire them and get them up to speed as far as radar detectors and figure out, company that he'd been working with to actually build the detectors, to have them constructed and all the firmware development and all that kind of stuff. That guy's going to have to get back up to speed. What's he going to be like? Is he going to have great communication with us? Is he going to be as talented as Cooney is? Is he going to be as capable? That's a lot of question marks for Uniden. Now, up to this point, Cooney's been the one who's been, well, obviously developing the R3 and doing all the updates and everything, and he's been doing a lot of work up to this point since he's leaving Uniden to get the R7 ready. Now, just because he leaves, that doesn't mean that suddenly the R-series detectors are going to suck or anything. He's been doing all this work, and somebody else comes in and, cool, he can add some new features and refine some things. And again, the development's actually been outsourced, so that's being done elsewhere. But kind of the main person in charge of the project, they're going to have to find somebody new to fill that role. So that definitely leaves a big question mark for Uniden's future in the radar detector industry. Again, I don't think it's like the sky is falling or anything. They've already got great detectors. They're just going to have somebody else come in, is my guess what they're going to have to do. It just makes sense. Bring somebody else in and step into that role. Obviously, Cooney's leaving a big set of shoes that need to be filled, But nevertheless, yeah, that is definitely going to be a big change for Uniden. But of course, I'm optimistic and hopeful they'll bring somebody else in, and the detector's kind of the platform that's been established. I still hope, of course, it does great things in the future. We already have an awesome detector, and somebody else can just step in and continue that. Now, I guess the biggest thing moving forward is not so much the Uniden stuff, but the Radenso. Again, you've got the awesome team at Radenso, and you've got, well, Uniden, the one guy at Uniden who's now over at Radenso. Ooh, this is going to be amazing. So Radenso, I think at this point is going to be like the company to look out for. I'm expecting, honestly, fantastic things out of them. Whatever they do moving forward, I think is going to be even better than it already is. Again, they've been doing great things up to this point, and if they want to come out with new detectors, we can always speculate on new stuff and whatever, but whatever they do kind of moving forward, I think will be even better than what we've been anticipating thus far. So yeah, huge news for Radenso, obviously, huge news for Uniden, and this is going to affect all of us as consumers, and it's going to affect everybody else as well to have this new, like, really strong competitor now in the market. Is this Radenso Uniden hybrid? So I guess now we should just call them Radenso because they're officially, well, Radenso, But anyway, yeah, that is the news that John has been alluding to on the forums. And again, he actually is releasing a video as well, talking about things and sharing, some more insights and of course his perspective on the whole thing. So you can click the button on screen to watch John's video or link down in the video description to learn more. But whew, this is a big one. So awesome. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.